Hey, how are you doing? Let's see if this will work out, because previously when I tried to do a live share or live stream, well, Amazon, what's going on? I cannot talk. It's a Friday. I even lost the count of the day. It's Sunday evening, and last time when I tried to do a live stream, YouTube was stopping me every 4 minutes, saying that I'm violating the copyright thing, and I don't know how it was. So let's see if this will work this time. The only thing that I thought it was, maybe it was due to the pillows that I have, Todoros, because other than that, nothing, no music was there or anything like that. So we'll see. Hi, games lover. I'm good, thank you. How are you? Hispan Gamers, Mexico. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Saludos from Eugene. No sé, Eugenio, Oregon. Hola, estoy bien. ¿Y tú cómo estás? Espero que estás bien. Creo que en Oregon las cosas están mejor que aquí en Seattle, pero no sé, en Washington. Okay, so let's see. I started a few minutes earlier this stream. We'll see how it will work. Hopefully, YouTube will let us have a stream this time, and we can chat for a bit. I didn't have a chance to do or post a video this week, so I decided to do a live share. Again, I'm saying share when it's a live stream. Yeah, it was a while. I probably, if you saw my previous videos, you know that I'm busy with bootcamp, coding bootcamp right now. So it takes a lot of my time. It's even more than I thought. So my apologies for not being that active on the channel, but I'm trying to do my time better. So we'll see. Sin estado. Thank you. It says beautiful. My favorite Pokemon, this might sound weird, but it's Pikachu. How is my bootcamp? My bootcamp is pretty good. As I mentioned already, I was a little bit worried about that it might be too entry level, but I'm pleased with the fact that it's not really so. It's actually really, really good. I like the curriculum, and keeps me and everybody else busy and engaged. And I really enjoy that. Mina Maged. I apologize again if I'm pronouncing the names or your user logins profiles incorrectly. I'm not really good at pronouncing things, you already know. Beautiful to see you today. Thank you. It's nice to see you too, and hopefully we can do this more often, get to chat more. Your average programmer, hello. Good to see you back, because I remember you were on the previous live streams that I was trying to do, and hopefully this one will be okay. Sinestado, do you like math? I like it when I understand it, if that makes sense. If I were to give a little bit more on that, when I was a child, I was sick multiple times, and that was leading to me skipping school, not because I wanted, but because I was sick. So I'll be behind on math or anything like that, and that will make me not like it. But once I will get up to speed, then I'll enjoy it really much, and then I'll actually take advanced classes or something like that. So I like it when it makes sense, if that makes sense. Your average programmer, will you ever do a tour of your programming setup? What do you mean by programming setup? What applications do I have on my workstation or desktop? What or my desk? What do you mean there? Hispa Gamers Mexico, do you have any hobbies? I actually do have hobbies. I really like to do something I like to program, right? It's kind of a hobby as well. I like to do something with my ideas to try to get something to work. But at the same time, when I want to get away from technology, I like to do something crafty things. I will make a t-shirt, or I'll paint, or I will do something like that, or I'll read, or running. Running is also something that helps me. Your average programmer, a tour of your desk and every other piece of technology that you own. Yeah, definitely. Actually, I was thinking about doing that. I was planning on doing a tour of my desk, or probably also my office, because now I spend more and more time at my computer. Previously, when I was working at my job as a software developer, it allowed us to work from home whenever I needed. So I was working from my office, but since then, since I was started to do the bootcamp, I spend more time at the computer and in my office than when I was working full time. If that makes sense, probably sounds crazy, but I made a few changes, and I still kept a few things that worked for me during the time that I was a developer, full-time developer. So I'll definitely do a tour, and I'll share what works for me and what doesn't work, because there are things that I wish I had, it was the setup a little bit different, or the furniture that I had, it was a little bit different to make it more comfortable. Hey, Spa Gamers Mexico, do you know electronics? Not really. It's not, probably just the basic, but I won't say that I know it, just the concepts. But why are you asking? Are you referring to specific projects, or why are you asking about electronics? Let me grab any water. Okay, Mois. Stuck on a story for a while now. I assume you're saying user story. Not sure what approach to take, how to overcome this and get the job done. That's an interesting one, right? There's sometimes it's easy to be motivated and get started, and get going, and then hit a roadblock and not being able to continue. So what I would say is just kind of try to understand what's in the way. Is it that you are burned out, or you don't have enough information, or you don't feel comfortable doing that? Maybe you need a skill, something to research. Try to understand what is that thing that is in your way, and try to chip at it, layer by layer. Like, let's say, try to peel the onion layer by layer. If the user story is too big, try to break it down into small, more manageable pieces. And when you have them done, as soon as you see one is done, the next one is done, you'll feel that accomplishment that you've done with something, and that will keep you going. At least that's what's working for me, because I was stuck with user stories or stuff that I would have a huge project, and it will feel that I worked on it forever, and I didn't feel that I'm making any progress. But over time, if you look day by day, actually there was progress. Sinestado, play guitar? No, actually never ever played guitar. I did play piano. I really wanted to be really good at it. For a while, I was good, and I stopped doing that. So I didn't play piano probably for 15. No, it's probably 14 years now that I stopped playing the piano. Hispa Gamers Mexico. I would like to do a project with Arduino. Oh, those projects. Yes, definitely. I bought, where is it? Where did I put it? I bought a few Amazon dash buttons. They are kind of no longer for sale, right? They are discontinued because they have different ones. But I want to do a few fun projects with them, and also I want to do a Raspberry Pi project. So we'll see how that will work out. But definitely, the minimum necessary electronics there, I know about that. But if I need to something more, there are plenty of tutorials. But I will like to hear your project ideas with Arduino. Do you did anything, or you plan to do something? I'm looking for inspirations of what to do. Dina, oh, hi, good to see you back. Really nice to see you. I recognize your name. Just a random question. Did you consider work for a bigger company like Microsoft? Just wondering because you have a great experience. Honestly, yes, I did. I did consider it. There are a few things. There's always kind of a balance, right? You think, oh, I hear this and I know this, and it's like you want to balance things out. So the company that I worked at, it's kind of 5 minutes away walking distance to Microsoft, probably 5-10 minutes distance to Microsoft. And I've been to the Microsoft campus multiple times because I was doing volunteering program that was hosted by Microsoft. And I have a few people that I know there. And long story short, I did consider it, but at the same time, I heard that that is really the life balance, work-life balance is not that great, and that kind of stopped me. But honestly, I had two interviews with them, kind of for the same job offer. It was phone interview, and then it was the technical interview that we had a few months ago with Microsoft. So yeah, I was considering them as well. Mois, what should any general progression look like if I wanted to get into next level, like engineer 2, engineer 3, senior lead, and so on? So it's this is again from my experience and from what I've seen. Being technically strong will take you so far, right? You need to be able to work with other people. Like from the company, in the company where I worked, I saw which people advanced, what skills they had, what they were doing, and versus people who were really smart, really capable, and they were not advancing. And maybe they were not advancing because they didn't want to, they were happy where they were, and so on. But long story short, you have to develop holistically. Kind of here's the hint from where's the holistic developer and what is my channel about, is that in order to become better and kind of move up into your tech career, you have to develop the skills, not only technically, the hard skills, but the soft skills as well. The reason is that you will need to be able to communicate, let's say, with your manager or with your teammate or with anybody, any stakeholders. You will need to be able to explain what is the problem, how to solve it, why it's better to do this and that. So when you are able to do that, more and more people will notice you, and more and more opportunities will come your way. That way you will be able to advance step by step into that. And there's not one moment where it's like, yep, I got this, I can do it. It's always a work in progress that you have to continue improving this. But definitely being able to communicate, being able to work in a team, to share your information, wanted to help, even when things might be crazy, being able to be open to collaborate, that's definitely something that anybody should do, and it will benefit you long term. You will be amazed how those simple things can do amazing things for your career. Alkin Aliev, I think it's pronounced, so I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. Hi, welcome. It's really nice to see you here. Oh my God, I'm not sure what you wanted to say about that. Eduardo Ribeiro. Europe is your native country. Yeah, I'm from Eastern Europe. I'm from Moldova. It's a tiny country. Kind of, I doubt a lot of people know about it. I'll be surprised if you know where it is. Like without Googling, I'm curious how many of you know where Moldova is. Well, thank you, Alkin. I appreciate that for the compliment. My eyes are amazing. Thank you. They are. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I have beautiful eyes. Well, okay. Thank you. I see that you like my eyes. What's your favorite programming language? What are you experienced in? So, to tell you what my favorite language is that basically to what you have been exposed, right? And from I learned at university, I learned C, C++, Java, Prolog, which I really didn't enjoy that much, assembler. Then I took classes for C Sharp. But I worked primarily in C Sharp for the last 8 years, and I really enjoy C Sharp. Honestly, I really enjoy C Sharp. What I'm learning right now is JavaScript at the bootcamp. And I have moments when my brain goes like, boom, like, oh my God, JavaScript is so powerful and so forgiving. But at the same time, it's crazy how forgiving it is. It's kind of, I have the impression that it's kind of a ticking bomb that will explode at any moment. So yeah, I have kind of mixed mixed feelings about those languages. But my favorite programming language, I would say, is C Sharp, and I would say probably this is biased because I have the most experience in it. Bash. Personalmente es muy difícil hacer el trabajo en equipo, ya que siempre caigo en la incertidumbre si lo que hago es en las expectativas de los demás. Creo que es el síndrome del impostor, algo así. I'll translate that. So Bashal is experiencing something that it's hard for him for you to work in a team effort. You always get into the situation or the uncertainty that a no expectation and experiencing syndrome, like the imposter syndrome. And I'll answer that in English, but I appreciate that you wrote that in Spanish. It's a good experience for me to read and practice a little bit of Spanish. So I worked in a team since the moment I started at the company where I was, and for probably 5 years I always was in a team. And then I was kind of senior enough to work by myself. And honestly, there were moments when I wanted to work by myself. And when I got to work for 2 years practically by myself, I didn't like it that much. And you'll be amazed that the imposter syndrome started to feel more and more kind of pressing, because I didn't had people to run ideas by and so on. So it might seem that it's really hard, and it might be, and might get some used to. When I was working in pairs at work, a lot of times I was feeling that I'm not experienced enough, because usually when we were pair programming, it was with a senior software engineer or something like that, and I'll have that same feeling that you have, the imposter syndrome, and I will be behind, and I'll be like, oh, I'm not sure I can answer that, and so on. And just to give you the perspective of what's happening right now at the bootcamp where I am, in the morning we have lectures, and in the evening it's always we are doing pair programming. And a lot of times I feel that I not feel comfortable working in pairs, and that was the very first week or something like that. I noticed how it was when I'm solving those exactly the same problems by myself. I have no constraints that, oh, I have to think like this, or what the other person will think. But the more I started to do that, the easier it gets. So hopefully, if you get that feeling of that you're feeling like an imposter, that you're not good enough, try to get that solved, and that will probably help you. And there is a study or experiment that was done, and there are books also written on this, that the way to build your team is the teams that are built on vulnerability. I'm not pronouncing that word correctly. It helps to grow and make the team stronger. So if you feel comfortable enough to let your team know that you're not feeling strong in this area, or you would like to go faster here or slower there, initially maybe it will be slower, but in the long term you will get your team to work together better. So hopefully that answers and gives you a little bit of clarity what to do. But I don't think there's one answer that will solve everything. It depends on the situation as well. It depends on the team. So use your best judgment there. Suck. Never heard of that country before. I'm not surprised. It's a tiny country. Where are you from? Mina managed. What should I do if I will? What should I do if I will be a great programmer and developer to work or to make my career? I guess you're asking what to do to have a great career. And the journey for everybody is different, right? And it depends what is a great career for you. Do you want to become a technical lead, or do you want to be a principal or a software architect? It depends what you want to do. And depending on what you want to do, you kind of have to decide, okay, where I am, what's the next things that I need to do to get there. You kind of you see where you are. Let's say you start at A and you know that you want to be at Z. You want to see what kind of steps are needed to get there. Let's say if you know that, okay, I'm a software developer right now, but I want to be senior principal, and you see, okay, what kind of skills are needed for that, and kind of try to break it down into smaller, manageable pieces and work at those milestones one step at a time. And once you got one thing solved or achieved, do a retrospective and see, do I still want to go into that direction? What did I do well? What I didn't do well? What will work best? And always assess what you accomplished and take it from there, and do the course direction as needed. Hispa Gamers Mexico, would you consider to get into mobile apps? I did consider that. I actually want to do. It's just for me. I don't know if I want to do that as a profession, to do app development, mobile development. But for me, for a while I wanted to do a mobile app just to track water intake. And I know there are a lot of apps there that already do that, but none of them are actually doing what I want. And yeah, usually you do something like software engineering. It's like you get started on something that you're trying to solve something. So I do want to a mobile app. Probably it will be an Android application that I'll try to do it. And actually, I started the shell project already. We'll see how that goes. Hispa Gamers Mexico. Wow, ¿dónde aprendes español? Aprendí español en Moldova. Estudié español desde que estaba en el primer grado, y después de eso aprendí continué a estudiar como por 10 años, y después no, ese que lo recuerdo desde entonces. So I've learned Spanish since I was a child in the first grade, right? So Hispa Gamers is asking me, from where do I know Spanish? Andre Rodriguez, have you heard about junior training sheet from Dr. Mustafa? No, I haven't heard that. It's about training your competitive programming and making a person to think logic and code as fast as possible. It's really interesting. Oh, that's it's definitely interesting. However, I don't think I can do that. I'll give you an example. At the bootcamp that we're doing right now, every week we have assessments on the previous things that we learned. And I would do something, I will practice something. And when I practice that, let's say I have to solve a program, like something, a synchronous method, I have to do it. And when I have initially the task, I will do it no problem during the week when we pass the topic, right? When it's the topic introduced. During the assessment, for the life of me, I get into this block that, okay, I will run out of time. I don't remember it. I'm trying to make it more complicated than it is. So I'm not competitive. I don't think I can do, under pressure, I don't think I can do that well. So that's just the reality. And I know I have to work on that. Was wondering where would you like to hop on next, company-wise, career-wise? So I already mentioned that in a previous video that right now I kind of block scheduled my next 6 months to learn web development and I want to focus solely on that, and then I will see where to go from there. I don't know if I want to continue after I finish the web development, if I want to do JavaScript or if I want to do Python, because those are the primary language that we will be learning, or if I will continue with C# or Java. I don't know. I just want to focus right now for the 6 months, see where it is, and after that we'll see how I feel. Maybe I can get into machine learning because that's also something of interest. So I really honestly don't know yet. I don't want to kind of dream about something while I have this thing that time consuming. So you're from Cali. You're actually from Cali. Is that California? Bashal, what techniques do you use to avoid procrastinating? That's a good one. Procrastination. It's kind of to allow yourself to realize that sometimes procrastination is okay, but at the same time, you have to understand why you're procrastinating. A lot of times, procrastination is a result of you feeling uncomfortable about something, not being able to do it, taking you too much time or something like that. So a lot of times I will probably allow myself to kind of assess the situation and try to do, okay, I'll break what I have to do into really small things, like small manageable things. And as soon as I say, okay, I'll do this, and I'll allow myself to do something else, right? So as soon as I get that done, I'll have this feeling of I accomplished something, and then it kind of gets me going, right? So, and in that case, I noticed that a lot of times my procrastination is because of not being able to focus at the same also. And I realized that if I make sure that if I'm starting to work on a project, I turn off my notifications, emails, and all that stuff. Because once I try to focus on something and get distracted, and then when I'm trying to focus again on that, I see that I'm not making progress, and that leads to procrastination. So it's trying to understand why you're procrastinating. And when you understand why you're procrastinating, probably that will kind of clarify what you need to do. But most cases for me, it's either I'm exhausted and I need to rest. And like if I rest, I might be more productive afterwards. So allow myself to rest if it's needed. Second reason that I might be procrastinating is that, oh, I'm scared and I don't know if I can do that. So trying to kind of understand what that does take to get that done and going. And third is like, okay, is it because something is in my way and not able to do that? So kind of something is on my way. I'm always getting distracted by notifications or something like that. So hopefully that makes sense. Zach, opinion on LeetCode interview types. My honest opinion, LeetCode is good tool to practice your interview skills, interview solving skills. However, doing only LeetCode, it's not reasonable, because one important thing in the interview is to be able to get the information you need. And by design, LeetCode has to give you all the information for you to solve that problem, technical problem that you're having, right? In order for it to develop it, right? To code it. But in interviews, the interviewer is trying to get to see how will you do the job. A lot of times you will have a user story on your Kanban board and it will say, implement a workflow on such page or something like that, right? It won't give you all the details you need. So the interviewer will want to know, it will give you kind of the same similar idea of what will be in the user story, but not necessarily that all the information will be there. So you have to be able to get the requirements, ask questions to see what kind of boundary scenarios are there. And that LeetCode cannot provide, right? So it's great for you to work on solving those technical problems, to get your to keep your mind sharp and your skills sharp on programming. However, only LeetCode, only practicing that part, it's kind of, I think it's lacking an important part of the interview process. And a lot of interviewers are paying a lot of attention on that. Zach, good luck. Thank you. Yes, but originally from ME. I'm not sure where ME is. Dina, it's nice to be here again. Maybe Golang is a good option for you. Have you heard about it? Yes, I have heard about it in the last live chat, live stream that we've done, and actually looked into it a little bit. And I have actually currently in my Amazon cart a book that I'm considered to get on Golang to explore it. I didn't bought it yet because I'm focusing right now on JavaScript and Python because it takes all my time. But after that, I want to look into it. I heard and I see a lot of good things about it. Are you proficient in Golang? Have you used it as your primary language? I do have advice for anyone looking to transition into software from another engineering field. Like from another engineering field, like what? Because maybe I can be more specific in that case. Rachel, ¿tuviste la oportunidad de entrevistar a un junior? Si es así, ¿qué es lo que buscaste en él? Skills, adaptación, algo por el estilo. A un GR, no sé qué es. GR, ¿estás... ¿Es como junior o tiene otro significado? I'll tell you, if you like, did you have opportunity to interview for a junior position? I believe that's what it's being asked. Case what you were seeking there, what kind of skills. So a lot of times I was thinking that the skills that I got at my job, yes, I have C# skills and everything what is needed. Experience in gathering requirements, implementing, getting things done, right? But if you look at 8 years, the majority of experience, it's industry specific and it's company specific, right? So obviously you might be considering when you're looking for a job that maybe I have to do a junior position or something like that again. But I will tell you for a fact, my mentor is working at Amazon, and he told me that for a fact Amazon doesn't look good at people who are senior and they're trying to get into a junior position. And it didn't work well for them, and they are actually trying. They are not doing that anymore. So if a person with experience trying to apply for a junior position at Amazon, they won't have success on that. At least that's what my mentor told me, and I trust him. Mr. Wandering Higgins. Hi there. Hi, welcome. What is the best language to learn and to make my career? A lot of people are honestly asking me this, and if you were to look at what's the best language right now, the top 5 languages are, actually checked that a few days ago. The top was JavaScript. No, sorry. Top was Java. Then it was Python. Then it was JavaScript. And then it was C#. And then it was Swift or something like that. Those were the 5 top languages. But my honest opinion is that you have to kind of see, where do you want to go? Do you want to get into web development, games development, mobile development? And based on what's an interest, that's the language you should learn. My opinion is that choose a language that is versatile, that if you don't know which path you want to go into. But also an advice there is that regardless of what language you want to go with, just try to focus on programming principles and all that stuff, because I mentioned that multiple times. The technology that is hot and trendy right now, everybody wants that, might be not as hot tomorrow. That makes sense. It won't be trendy. It will be long forgotten technology of tomorrow. So just make sure that you learn something that you enjoy learning, and that will help you get the skill under your belt. And when you're done with that, when you're comfortable, try to find a job opportunity or project with that language. And if you can't, it will be easier for you to adapt. So my experience was that I learned Java. I was the most proficient in Java when I graduated, but I started to work as a C# developer. So they're not that different. They have a lot of similarities, but they have also a lot of differences. So the point there is that you can learn one language and you'll be good at that, and then you can transition to a different language that you might like. Python is the sexiest language out there, my humble opinion. Actually, a lot of people have that opinion. So a lot of people praise Python. So we'll see. I think I will start learning Python in about 4 weeks. And I will tell you if I have the same opinion. But a lot of people say that the most loved language is Python at the moment. Bashal Jr., yeah. So, Bashal, I hope I answered that question, that if I try to get into a junior position. And I was considering that a lot of times that the experience in one company might be a different level at different companies, right? So you kind of like, okay, I'm senior in this company, but maybe I'm not that senior in a different company, right? So if that makes sense. So you're always wondering that. But as I mentioned, Amazon is an example that doesn't like people who have already experience trying to get into junior position. So you should apply for mid-level or senior or something like that. Traditional mechanical. I'm not sure. Kind of. Did I lose track of that? Sorry. Hispa Gamers Mexico. Do you think Udemy is a good way to learn a new language? Yes, I heard really good things about it. I actually did Udemy as well. I did a little bit of JavaScript there as well. However, Udemy is great. It's just, in my opinion, if you take a project or a course there, try to do the project that they're providing, but also do another project at the same time, something that you are interested in. Because the project that they're doing, it's basically you're following a path, and they explain everything, and it might make sense. But when you're trying to do your own project, you might have questions that may not make sense if you try to do that afterwards, after you're done the course. So while you do a project that is not well defined or well described by them, it's something separate, might help you to dig deeper into the topic that they are explaining, or the topic that is at the time explored. Ahora que, Bashal, ahora que no estás trabajando, ¿te gustaría emprender en tecnología? No estoy segura que entiendo emprender en tecnología. ¿Te gustaría emprender? Lo que estoy haciendo ahora, estoy aprendiendo nuevas tecnologías, así que, perdón, pero no entiendo la pregunta. The question was kind of, now that you are not working, would you like emprender? Let's see, what's emprender in English? Undertake. I'm not quite sure, honestly. Thoughts on LeetCode Camp? I have really good feelings about LeetCode Camp. I really like that them. The platform is great. I used it a little bit. So if you don't have time to do a commitment to kind of do a bootcamp like I'm doing or anything like that, and you want to do learning on your free time. Free Code Camp, it's an amazing resource, and I really like the newsletters that they are sending every week. So definitely recommend you to sign up for that. Andre Rodriguez, do you think GraphQL will be a standard at some times in the future for APIs? Not sure. I don't know. Actually, I didn't explore it, so I don't know. I cannot answer something that I don't know. Felipe Valdez, next or next? I'm not sure I understand the question. Your average programmer, do you understand data structures and algorithms? Are they necessary to understand that to get a good job? Well, honestly, data structures are important. Yes, really much so. Data structures, you'll use them day by day in your job as a software developer. You'll need to solve things. You're like, oh, in this case, it's better to accomplish this with, let's say, an array or with the list or something like that, right? You need to be knowledgeable of what your programming language of choice can do, and what data structures do you have to use. Algorithms, I have mixed feelings about those, and I will explain that in just a bit. What did I want to say about the algorithms? In order to get into a job, a software engineer job or technical job, right, you are evaluated on algorithms, and you will be evaluated on algorithms like, how do you solve this, remove this, or rearrange this, or traverse this binary tree or something like that, right? However, day by day, like in your job, you are not going to do binary search. You have to implement it. At least I don't see a lot of jobs doing that. So it's kind of a required skill right now to pass an interview, but it's not something that will be used by day. Yes, you will be writing algorithms, but they will be the algorithms that you develop, you design. It's not something well-defined algorithms out there. But data structures are really, really important. Like knowing when it's better to use a stack, or when to use a queue, or when to go with a graph, or when to do a hash, and all that stuff, right? They are really important because day by day, those are the things that you will be using to solve the problems that you have as a software developer in the most efficient way. So definitely be comfortable with those, but algorithms and data structures are important to pass an interview. Hey, Spark Gamer Mexico, have you ever worked on Linux servers? First time I started to use Linux, it's now with this bootcamp. During my university, which I studied computer science, we didn't do anything Linux or Unix or anything like that. I did MS-DOS, but I didn't do Linux. So I started to do Linux probably a month ago. But before that, I didn't do any Linux at all. So now, actually, this week, we did a lot of Linux commands. Like I learned about permissions and learned about what not to do, as like the risks of running specific commands as a sudo and so on. So I'm just starting to get more knowledgeable about Linux. Andre Rodriguez, what he meant on emprender is if you are going to be an entrepreneur on technology. I really enjoy working with people, and to start to be an entrepreneur in technology, you have to, first of all, thank you for explaining that. Emprender is kind of starting an empresario o algo así. And to start a company, at the beginning, it's really you do everything by yourself. And I'm more a person who likes to collaborate, work with people, and so on. So as of now, I don't think about doing a startup or anything like that, startup company. My thoughts might change in the future. Who knows? But we'll see. But at the moment, no. Digital Shaolin, Shaolin. Sorry. What are good project ideas for beginning in JavaScript? Uh, like games, different games. Like always, when you want to learn something, our brain is designed. Like, let me take a step back. I'm amazed. My daughter is 2.5 now, and I'm amazed at how she learns. And I realized that our brain learns really well when you do something fun and you gamify something. So if you want to learn something, make it fun and interesting for you, because even if we are 20 years old, 30, 40, or 50, or 60, doesn't matter, we're still kids inside, and our brain likes it to be engaged and have fun. So my suggestion would be to do like project something fun, like make a game. The other day I was looking at exactly that's what I was researching, project ideas for beginners in JavaScript. Make the snake that is chasing its tail. Make Actually, that was a video from free free boot camp, or yeah, free boot camp. They had like 5 best ideas for beginning in JavaScript programming. So there are a few great ideas there. So yeah, find something, make games. I think that's the funnest thing to do and start with, and then make it complicated afterwards. Hispa Gamers Mexico, what is your favorite OS, Linux, Windows, or Mac OS? Today, my husband and I were talking about Mac OS, and I told him that there's a lot of people have the misconception or the conception that the majority of software engineers are on Mac OS, and I don't think that's true, but who knows? I honestly like Windows. I am a Windows fanat. And again, maybe it's biased because that's the only thing I've been using. The only time I used Mac, where only time I touched a Mac device, it was during a global day of code retreat a few years ago. And kind of just shortly to describe what is a global day of code retreat is that for an entire day you solve one problem. Let's say you're working on a fizzbuzz problem, like a fizzbuzz cut or something like that, and you are like for 30 minutes you work with one person and you try to solve this problem using, let's say, Ruby. And then you stop working with a person, you get up and move to work with another person, and you, let's say in that case, you will solve that using JavaScript or C#. Next, you will do the same problem without conditionals. Next, you switch and you do the same problem without for loops, and so on. So I think you get the gist. And as I was rotating, I got to sit with a person who had a Mac. And I never in my life used a Mac before. And we had 30 minutes to try to solve something. And I think it was try to solve this without conditionals. And if you know FizzBuzz, I kind of it's heavy on conditions. So it's like how to use this. So that was the only time I touched. It was, I think it was a MacBook or something like that. So no, I'm not a MacBook or Mac OS person. But again, maybe because I haven't used it enough. Bashel, what do you think the participants of Women in Tech is minimal? Well, that's the case of Latin America. There's a lot of things at stake, right? And it could be what I was going to say can be taken out of context, but there's a lot of stigma. And like when I grew up, I had a friend. I think I've already mentioned this. I had a friend who was older than me, because in the neighborhood where we were growing up, kind of everybody's friends with each other. He was a software engineer, and I kind of decided to go into software engineering due to my husband convincing me that I'll be able to do that I'm smart enough, that I'm able enough to do whatever I put my mind to. So thanks to him, I'm in software engineering. And my friend told me, like, why are you going to software engineering? That is not a field for girls. You should go to do something else. So there's a lot of stigma, and like a lot of people are like, in some countries, the girls are being educated like that, that's not a field for you. That's one reason. But other is that maybe there are barriers as well also, that a woman cannot succeed in tech because she has to be at home with kids and so on. There are multiple reasons, and all of them can be taken out of context. But I think, like, I volunteered for a while with Chick Tech, which is a non-profit organization that works with young girls to get them into software engineering. And a lot of girls, they didn't think they can do it. So we were doing different workshops, like robotics. We did app development, web development. So for a weekend, we had 100 girls from high school, and I think it was like 8 workshops. And 8 workshops different. Like one was web development, other was game development, then we had robotics and so on. So in 2 days, the girls did such amazing projects, such a big, interesting accomplishment that they showcase at the end of the weekend to their teachers, their friends. And you cannot believe how changed they were, because we asked them at the beginning how capable they believe that they can do, how successful they might be doing. Do they think they are capable of doing creating a robot or anything like that? And none of them believe that they can do it. And at the end, they were like, oh my God, I don't believe that it's that easy, because you try to stay away from something that you don't understand, or you think it's too hard, you're not able to do that. So just having the opportunity for girls to get into experiencing this, I believe, will make a huge difference. And tech needs diversity, and not only tech. We need people from different fields, in all the fields, but tech especially. So I'll give you an example. This might be strange, but at home we have a Google Home and we have an Alexa Echo as well. And every time, like not every time, most of the times when I say something to Alexa to do something, she will not understand me. I ask my husband to say exactly the same thing, like a minute or 30 seconds after me, and Alexa will understand him. And it's not that the words that we're saying is different, the language is different, it's exactly the same. It's just a matter of fact that probably the testing that was done, it didn't had enough woman voices or something. I don't know, but it's kind of bizarre that an Alexa device won't be so responsive to a female voice versus a male voice. I hope that makes sense. Okay, where was I? Felipe Valdez. Did try a one-click paywall pop-up remover Chrome extension. Yeah. Games sound perfect. Thanks. Let me know which ones did you decide to do. Actually, maybe we can do a session. I don't know, a live session. Try to solve a game together in the future. We'll see. Biker Code. I like your login, or your username. Yes. And which language were you programming at your previous job? C#. It was primarily C#. Hispanic Gamers Mexico. Yes, all the programmers on YouTube use macOS. That's the part, like all the classes, practically all the tutorials or anything like that, the majority are on macOS. But that's, you cannot judge, like you cannot say that all the developers are on macOS just because of the classes you see or the tutorials, because not necessarily all the developers are on YouTube, or not all developers are doing classes or courses or anything like that. So I don't know, but from my job, the majority of people there, probably one person has a Mac at home or 2, and everybody else is a Windows person. Felipe Valdez, any suggestion as what can okay, where was I? Any suggestions as to what can coders do to help the current situation with COVID-19? That's a really good question. What can developers do to help with the situation? I'm not sure. Maybe, really not sure. Just to think about it, like do stuff that will help people, facilitate them to working from home, or facilitate people to learn from home while they're at home, because in this case it's recommended to stay at home and not spread the virus. So maybe be able to do this, create something that will facilitate these things. Other than that, I'm not quite sure what can be done, because the situation with this virus, it's biological, right? So maybe something in biotech, but I'm not sure. I'm not very experienced in that area to probably give a good answer there. Okay, so I'll take this final questions, and I'll probably will wrap it up for today, because tomorrow I have an assessment in the morning and I need to wake up in the morning early. So, okay, what do we have here for another 10 minutes? Hi, how many languages do I need to know to build an app to completion, back end and front end? Honestly, with C#, you can do all of that. C#, it has practically everything you need to I think C# now can do completely to cover that. So in my opinion, I think one language is enough. And when I got, like, every time I will think or hear about web development, you hear about so many languages or so many frameworks, and you believe, oh my God, there's so much. But in reality, they're just small pieces and different frameworks that you need to be really comfortable with. But at least that's what I see from now. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Hispanic Games, Mexico. I am from a small town in Mexico, and we used to have Linux on our desktop, and we love it. Almost everything is free. Yeah, but at the same time, for me, it's like, it's really not trusting you. It's like, really, it has trust issues. So, where are you from, Mexico? Which town? Hi, girl. Seriously, nice to hear here. It's really, really great to have you here in chat. It's really interesting. And I'm happy that Amazon, YouTube this time didn't close my stream, because last time I tried it, it was closing the stream after 4 or 5 minutes, saying that I was doing a copyright violation or something like that, and I didn't do anything. It was crazy. Mohammed Abd Al-Mashin, technology is the future of work, and it is the future of technical life, and it will help us as humans beings to solve many of our daily problems and future problems. Daily and future problems. Yeah, I strongly agree with that, and I'm extremely happy that that's the path that I chose, and I'm really thankful to my husband that he convinced me that I was capable enough to pursue this field. So hopefully you have somebody in your life that will do that for you, or you can do the same for other people to encourage them and give them the confidence that they need to get and pursue this field, because it's really important. Again, using Visual Studio. Used Visual Studio, yes, I honestly really liked Visual Studio. Like, one thing that for me it was like during the bootcamp is like we were learning about the JavaScript call stack. And like, where do I see the call stack? And it's like, there's no call stack, or you cannot see the call stack. And it's like, what? And I was so accustomed to looking at a call stack in Visual Studio. I always looked at that. So now it's like, oh, how do I see the call stack? Now I have to mentally build it. Or you can do tracing, or you can do other things, but it's not the same as having it there anytime you need it. Marshall, buenas noches, gracias por las respuestas. Ya me tengo que ir y que es tarde aquí. También es muy tarde aquí. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Así que hasta la próxima. Y cuídate, que todos están bien en tu familia. Muchas gracias, Marshall, y tú también, que estás sano y que tú y tu familia o la gente que estás queriendo que estén bien y hasta la próxima vez. Andrei Rodriguez, now you mentioned testing on female voice. My computer vision project I'm currently working on about hand sign recognition has equal amount of male and female pictures of hand sign. I'm happy to hear that because the software or the programs that we're working, what we're building as software engineers, as programmers, will be used by everybody. It's not only for male or female. It should be user friendly for all the entire population. So I'm happy to hear when people are doing inclusive and diverse projects. Mohammed, what do you think about developing games I'm working on? It's using C++ and using Unreal Engine. Web game development, it's a huge industry, and C++, I heard it's a primary language to develop games. And I haven't heard about Unreal Engine, so I cannot say anything. But C++ game development, it's a huge kind of field there, and it's actually also if you enjoy that and you're good at that, you can do a killer career with that. How can one be cute and a software developer at the same time? Asking for a friend. I don't think cuteness and smartness or capabilities are mutually exclusive. They are they are not mutually exclusive. You can be super cute, beautiful, or ugly, or not so ugly, or like it doesn't matter. The outside doesn't match necessarily what's in the inside, not always. So cuteness or beautifulness, it's not a good comparison for person capability and are they able to be software engineers or professors or managers or presidents or anything like that. It doesn't have to do with that. It just don't judge a book by its cover. That's what I would say. And I'm sure everybody heard that. What are you learning next? Right now, I'm focusing on learning JavaScript, and next will be Python. And we'll do Docker as well. We will do Flask, I believe. We'll do Alchemy SQL. There are a lot of things in the curriculum that we have. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. It's 9 p.m. here. I'm sure that if you are in different time zone, it might be much later. For you, it's probably late or it's early morning. So hopefully you had a great weekend, and for some of us it was Easter, so happy Easter. Thank you very much for being here with me, and until next time. I would like to hear if you are interested in having this live streams once a month. I'll see if that's something of interest. And should I post this on the channel? Do you think it will be beneficial for other people to see it? I suggest Douglas Crawford videos. Thank you. I'll check that out. Is he specific JavaScript or something like that? Where is that? Douglas. If I only knew how to spell Crawford. Yeah, he's JavaScript. I'll definitely check him out. Thank you. Thank you for the recommendation. Because I definitely want to learn from multiple sources and not only one source. Thank you very much I appreciate Felipe, I appreciate your suggestion. Mohammed, we benefit a lot from your information, so please make a daily live broadcast in order to benefit from more information. Well, I'm happy to hear that, so I'll definitely try to do this more often. So yeah, thank you for being here. I enjoy these conversations a lot, and hopefully it's a mutual. Would you consider teaching kids? Yes, I really like to teach kids. when I mentioned that really quick, I mentioned that I was a TA with TEALS, where I helped teach Java for high school kids. Then I started to do Chick Tech, which was also for high school girls to teach them to get into tech. However, they didn't have anything for younger kids, and I want to have to do something like that. So if you watch my video about plan the year with me, I have something to, I want to plan something and develop something for teaching kids to code. So something that I'm planning for the future. Thank you for the stream, and stay safe. Thank you, Andre. You stay safe as well, and talk to you next time. His job. Yep, thank you. For kids, I suggest Cobalt. Cobalt. I thought Cobalt is kind of outdated. Cobalt. Oh, it's not that Cobalt that I was thinking about. Cobalt. Okay. Okay, I'll look into that. Is that Cobalt is an educational real-time strategy video game featuring 3D. Awesome. I haven't heard of it. Thank you for suggesting it. I love it. Well, thank you very much. Development, is it in demand, or suggest me what is in demand? Web development, I believe it's in demand. My opinion is that right now, web development, I believe, is hot. So definitely, if that's something of your interest, stay with it. So, well, thank you very much. I don't believe it. I can't believe it's already an hour past, and I had so much fun. So thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next live stream. Stay safe and stay positive, and happy engineering as always. Bye bye.